believe you're alive. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and early friends. Thank you so much for joining me here again on another live stream. I hope I'm speaking loud enough for you to hear me. My dad and Christian is having a bit of a conversation right now, actually, which really makes me happy. I don't think my dad and Christian has ever been allowed, had the opportunity rather, to actually have a proper chat with one another, and now they are. Me and my dad were locked in the car together, for the drive here, and it got a little bit heated, to say the least. At least at some points, it got a little bit heated, and I didn't necessarily enjoy that too much, especially since it feels like there is this inability to hear one another, sometimes. Like, we're both speaking, but it's like we're not listening. What's up, Lane? My brother Bear, thank you for joining us, dude. How was your Christmas? How was your festive season? How are you, brother? How are you doing, man? Do tell. Do you have an intention? I feel like today's, the Reddit stream is like, there's no need to be bad. It's only good. And I think on the YouTube it is talked about getting heated, just getting heated. Hey Marvin, good morning, beautiful people. Hope everyone had an amazing holiday. I hope you had an amazing holiday. Thank you for joining us, Marvin. Morning to you, Ninja. Thank you for joining us, dude. It was alright. Family's been getting on my nerves a bit, but I'm chilling. Dude, lame, dude. Bro, every single one of my, no, that's a lie. Every single one of my family members, except for 2 people, are anti-vaxxers. And, there's only that much I can do. Like, you sit there, you nod your head, and you look at people, and you're like, yeah, tell me more. Oh, okay. They're gonna kill all of us, are they? Oh, okay. They're gonna come for our kids, are they? Oh. And then I see this fear. I see people getting mad. I see people working themselves up, almost like preparing for this thing. And, in some level, we've been getting a little bit mad and getting a little bit heated in these places as well. But when you're doing it at the detriment of other people, when you're doing it towards one another and it creates separation, that's where we're going wrong. And I realized that on the way here, like, never mind the fact that me and my dad were having these conversations, but the fact that we felt so separate. I felt separate. Like, one of the biggest things where me and my dad don't agree on. Like, my dad keeps encouraging me to be a truth seeker, if you will. You know what? That's our intention. My dad's intention for us today. Seek the truth. My dad believes the ultimate truth is, the Christian religion, where I feel that the Christian religion fundamentally separates us in order to make us feel guilty, in order to make us feel smaller than we actually are, in order to capitalize on our want for hope, And it creates this sense of separation between, there is this God figure somewhere out there, and then there is little you. And little you has to do all of these things, jump through these hoops, say all of these pretty words in order to earn, this afterlife, this heaven, this forgiveness, this salvation. Enter your word here. And it creates separation, like there's this thing that Jesus said where he goes, me and my God are one. And I fundamentally believe the exact same thing. And my dad hates it. Oh, he gets so heated if I say that. He's like, no, you and God are not one. God is somewhere there, and you're just a human, he says to me. And I'm like, I get that you believe that, but is that serving you? Is that serving you? Is it serving us, friends? I really don't feel it does. Believing that we're these insignificant, small, little specks of mud. Because, on the scale of the universe, yes, We are. But on the scale of mind, you know, technically we are infinite. We are just as infinite as God has created us to be. And you can say the universe has created us to be. Source has created us to be. Love has created us to be. The divine mind, you know, enter your word here. We are here to love one another first and foremost. One of the biggest things as well that me and my dad kind of differ on is that I feel a lot of the information I've gained through my own personal experience is what informs my current worldview, right? Where, and this is an opinion, I feel a lot of my dad's worldview can be based on what he's been told. And my perspective is that because I've been allowed to, I don't want to say almost, have some personal experiences with these subjects, with these kind of energies, and this is not trying to separate myself from my dad either. I feel that there is this personal significance to what I believe in right now and how I feel about that. And my dad, he believes that Satan is, you know, whispering in my ear, telling me all of these things. And I'm like, Dad, if Satan is the one whispering in my ear, why does he keep saying love is true? Why? Why does he say that? You know, all things that he could have said. He could have told me, you know, to punch babies. He could have told me to, you know, I don't even want to talk about these things, these horrible things that I could think of. But no, no. The fundamental thing that keeps coming back every single time I have some sort of significant moment in life is that love is true. And it's weird to me that there is this disconnect with that. I feel in society, you know, we I don't know if we don't believe that love is true, but I feel it's maybe something that we're just not living as. You know, we're not living towards one another. And I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about you, friend. I'm just talking about us as on a societal level. You know, if you're looking at the wage differences, if you're looking at the differences in quality of life, if you're looking at the differences in education, medical care, like in that way, you know, there is definitely, in my opinion, a lack of the saying, the feeling, the belief that love is true in those moments as well. And it's difficult for me to see, very much so. I'm looking forward to smoking this joint actually with you friends. I think I'm gonna nip it right here. I'm not going to make it any bigger. It was alright. Family's been getting on my nerves. Family has a tendency to do that. My family, interestingly enough, Lane, didn't get on my nerves at all. Maybe one of my cousins got on my nerves a little bit. Just a little bit. Because he was, like, he really likes me, you know, and justly so. I'm joking. Like, he really likes me, and I really like him as well. But when a 13-year-old likes another person, unfortunately, their way of showing you that they like you is by spending time with you annoyingly. Driving you mildly insane, you know. So I got a bunch of face smacks. I lost a bunch of hair of him just straight up pulling the hair out of my head. And I'm a calm dude though. You're driving me insane. You know, so this stuff's happening to me. And then I just calmly tell him, do you want me to bury you? So, if anything, he got on my nerves a little bit. But again, even though he got on my nerves, even though he was potentially, from the perspective of myself, annoying, he was doing so in love. He was doing that because he wanted to show me that he loves me. So, you know, depending on which side I want to look at, I can be like, oh, annoying little kid, didn't leave me alone. Or I could be like, oh yeah, you know what? Love is true. Actually, you know what? No need to be mad. It's only game. It's only freaking game, friends. Oh, the family has to do that. Greetings from San Diego, everyone. Ryan, thank you for joining us, friend. Look, dude, we're smoking a marijuana reefer cigarette. See if it's gonna affect me negatively. Maybe it's gonna make me a little bit calmer. I feel like I've been a little bit strong today. Just a little bit strong. Seeking, or seek the truth, technically is the intention of this joint. Love is in fact true. And the more we seek the truth, the more we find that that is the only truth worth mentioning, the only truth worth continuing, if you will, living towards. They call me the seeker. Oh, I like that, dude. Hello, Mr. Seeker, the chopper. Seek your truth. What's true to you may not be for another. Yes, Ninja. I was saying the exact same thing to my dad. And I said the thing to him that I've said to you friends as well, where I went, my life and your life, or let me backtrack a little bit, every single one of our lives are meant for us, is my exact words to him. And he said to me, nope, your life is meant for Jesus. And I was like, I get that you think that. But that's not the way that I meant it. It was in that context, Ninja, where your truth, your way of living, your way of interpreting this life, your way of wanting to live this life might be in complete contrast or a polar understanding, to your parents or to a loved one or to a brother or a sister or even to your, significant other. And forcing one another to believe the same things isn't necessarily beneficial. But there is a part of us that knows that believing the same thing brings us closer together as well. And I understand that's literally why religion is as big as it is. I'm well aware. But can we not rather believe that love is true instead of having to believe in some sort of entity far outside of ourselves, always judging us, always looking down on us, waiting for us to die so he can judge us? I cannot imagine that an all-powerful being would be spending his time with that. Imagine how boring that would be. Oh, goodness. Oh, thank you. Human number 120 billion. Thank you for joining us here in heaven's judgmental room. You have done all of these things in your life. Go to hell. And then for eternity, every single other being, every single other creature that's ever lived, over and over and over again. Dude, that sounds exhausting. I cannot imagine that an all-powerful God would want to be busy or something like that. When it rains, thank you for joining us, friend. That thing, seek the truth, seems to get subjective. We could hope your father also seeks the truth. Exactly, your truth. There we go, Lane. And my dad has settled on his truth being Christianity. And I feel I finally accepted that that's not going to change. Did I ever try to change that? So if I try to change anything, I try to change my dad's belief that every single word of the Bible is the actual word of God, because he does believe that. That I've tried to make him stop believing, but I've never tried to make him stop believing in his religion. I just want him to question more. I want him to seek the truth. Like believing word for word what the Bible says. Like we had the conversation about, so he brought the conversation in from a friend of his, was a big racist, and he asked him this question of, would you rather have your son show up home with a colored person or with a person of the same sex? And my dad said he would rather have me show up with a colored person rather than, a person of the same sex. And this dude was like, oh, how could you say something like that? And my dad was like, oh, in the Bible it says, it doesn't say anything about being with a person of color, or being of a person that is not the same race as you, but it does, however, say something about homosexuality and how it's an abomination, the words he used. And I look over to him and I tell him, Dad, I've thought at one point in my life that I'm gay. And I see this shock in his face. And I tell him, like me and Christian have this connection with one another, this understanding of one another. And I love this dude. I'm in love with this dude. But I don't have any sexual attraction towards him. However, there are people on this planet who have a sexual attraction towards an individual of the same sex. And calling something like that an abomination, calling love an abomination, it sits wrong with me, you know. Then I get feisty. I get a little bit mid. I get mid. Shouldn't get mad. I shouldn't get mad. I know. I don't want them to believe these things, you know, especially because, oh, it says so in the Bible, so it has to be true. No, no, that's not how it works. Believe, think for yourself. Exactly, your truth. Bro, you're back home. Is that home or is this home? No, this is again Christian. So, Christian's place. This is kind of what happened. It was supposed to be. Sorry for butchering this. Okay. I left my computer and my monitor and a bunch of other stuff at Christian's place. Then I went to Christmas on the 24th with my dad, drove through, streamed there, sleep there, stream there again, sleep there. We had breakfast this morning, and then I like asked my dad what's the plan, and he's like, he gives me this haphazard plan. I'm like, okay, and we're gonna go to this friend of his on the way back here just to go and say hi. And he says to me like, we're just gonna, you know, stop and say hi. We were there for like 2 hours. And I'm like panicking, you know. So it was like two. It was 2. So I took out my streaming, you know, tripod. I'm like, oh well, guess I'm streaming at, you know, this dude's place. And he was like, no, we're gonna go to your uncle's place to go and, you know, stream. So I'm like, okay. We start driving. I call my uncle. They haven't left from the place that they were, you know, the whole Christmas event was. I'm like, okay, so no more going to our uncle's place. So it's like, okay, no, it's fine. Well, I call my friend Ben, ask him if he can stream there. Tries to call Ben, goes straight to voicemail, sends him a voicemail. I'm like, well, we do have to go get my stuff from Christian's place, so we might as well go directly to Christian's. Here we are, no. Here we are, dude. So one more day at Christian's place, dude. Who would have known? Who would have known? The Choppa says, do you want to know what happens when you die? It's kind of like before you were born. I don't believe that at all, actually. The Choppa. Your current consciousness, your current awareness. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the way it is. I'm just saying it in the same way that you said to me, right? Bear with me. I don't believe that you are in this body at all, fundamentally. I believe you are the underlying awareness experiencing this body. This body is your medium of experience, not the fundamental experiencer. Okay, bear with me. So in that way, I believe when this body perishes, that experiencer continues. Even if it doesn't continue with me, it will continue as the experiencer. And in that way, I don't fear death because it's energy, dude. It cannot be destroyed, it cannot be created. Melted into something new. We are created in God's image, and as such, we are a part of God, and He is a part of us. Should get to Him. He doesn't like that one. I've tried that one as well, Ninja. He's like, nope. he believes that God stands fundamentally opposed, is that the word? Away from, separated from His creation. He sees God as this entity, you know, looking at creation, and all of us are like running around there, you know. And then when I say me and God are one, and I say the same thing to him, you and God are one, this, you know, thing next to me, this little bar, this wall, and God is one. There is no separation from it. It's like, none of it. When Rain says, I was much more philosophical at your age. I was much more philosophical at your age and realized that many peers were when then, but many people grew up to materialistic pursuits. I'm butchering this sentence when it rains, I'm sorry. Let me try again. I was much more philosophical at your age and realized that many peers were then, but many people grew up to materialistic pursuits and ignored the need for compassion to all. It makes me sad when it rains. That's all I can say. You can see both. The annoying kid loves me. Boom. Exactly, exactly. There we go. This annoying kid loves me. I like you, Lane. I'm not calling you the annoying kid, dude, but I really like that, dude. Thank you for sharing with me as well, man. Maybe we are not separate from the truth, so no need to seek. Oh, another paradox. There we go. Dutch, Afrikaans, techniques. South African. That's a good one, Ryan. I like that. Maybe we are not separate from the truth, so no need to seek. You know, that's just an infinity in my mind, bro. Like the way that that sentence looks in my head is just this. I'm like, okay, okay, I see. It makes sense. I see what I'm seeing, and I recognize it for what it is. And yet, we still seek, you know, because we find ourselves as this, you know, slither of fraction of single eye in perspective, living as that ebb and flow, you know. So instead of being separate from, again, looking at this infinity, you are the infinity, experiencing your infinity. And it's too much. It's too much for us to even fathom. And because it's too much for us to even fathom, we hide parts of it from ourselves, and then we seek for it again. Constant hide and seek, hide and seek, hide and seek. Ryan, we've been doing this for so long, so long, and we keep forgetting. Oh, that's the weird part to me. Why do I keep forgetting? Because I want to? Because I need to? Because it doesn't help me if I remember? Because it helps me too much if I remember. Because it hurts me if I remember. And I ask that question. Ooh, man, like my friends are sick of it. Oh, they're actually sick of it. I keep asking, how long have we been doing this? Ooh, it almost made me cry that time. How long have we been doing this? And yet we're choosing to be here now. Thank you. Genuinely thank you, friends. I appreciate you so much. I like that he seems to respect your streaming more now. He does when it rains. He really does. And I really appreciate that as well. Thank you for noticing. I'll tell him that you noticed that. I think he would really appreciate it. I like how the study of soil shows how everything breaks down for transformation, and the world's nature is to continue moving forward. It's a constant melting into when it rains. You know, the universe eating itself. Linearity with the goal of continuation. And it's easier to continue when it's linear. Fortunately, that's how it is. Maybe that's why we have such a hard time as human beings sometimes. It's because we do have linear memories, but we don't think in a linear way all the time. Maybe, maybe we do think in a linear way. We keep drawing different lines. You know, so instead of just thinking linearly, like, oh, I'm gonna think about this thought. We do. Oh, I'm gonna think about this thought. Oh, think about this thought a little bit. Oh, think about this thought a little bit. Oh, think about this thought a little bit. I mean, this one a little bit. So we're thinking linearly, but we're just spreading that linear thinking over a bunch of different subjects, topics, ways of trying to understand, ways of thinking, things of thinking about. And I wonder if it creates a sense of separation from our environments as well, because we cannot expect things to happen at the same time in the way that it does in our heads sometimes. Especially how we can imagine things to work out perfectly. We expect so much. And not only expect so much, we get so upset when things don't go our way as well. And yet they don't go our way all the time. Maybe that's the point as well, is to not go your way for as long as it upsets you. Weirdly enough, when it stops upsetting you, things still don't go your way, but you accept that that becomes the way. You accept that this scenario you're faced with, the circumstance that you're in, is the one you're in, is the one you're facing. And you don't shy away from that. You don't wait for something else. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Waiting for something else. We do that with relationships, unfortunately, as well. We do it with jobs. We do it with the places we live. We do it with our devices, with our cars, waiting for something else. What are we waiting for? Is it the truth seeker within us that is misusing that energy? Instead of seeking the truth, it waits for something. Or maybe this is all hippie babble. And like I listen to myself sometimes and I'm like, bro, what are you saying? I don't know. I don't know. Like I can honestly say, I don't know fucking anything. I don't know how the clouds look the way they do right now. I mean, I do, but I don't, you know, like it makes logical sense to me. I can explain it to myself. And yet the intricacies of what happens to make it look that way, you know, it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind, and it's clouds. You know, I realized that as well today. On the way, on the drive, you know, here, the clouds were stunning, you know, absolutely breathtaking for almost every second of it. And I was like awe-inspired, just like, oh, it's amazing. And I tried to share some of that awe with my dad, and he was like, yeah, clouds. And then I realized, you know, like this hippie babble perspective is a good thing. You know, I don't have to put myself down for that. Being awe-inspired, being fascinated with this reality is the only thing we can expect of ourselves. It's what makes things exciting. Life is exciting. You are exciting. The sky's pretty. I'm happy that I showed you. Thank you, Jovan. Thank you for joining me, friend. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How was your vacation or your festive season? I do want to know, and thank you for like sending a message at the end of yesterday's stream as well. We missed you. It was, I think, one of my favorite streams of this year. It was so much fun. It was a lot, you know, or a lot, but it was a lot of fun. Uh, Thank you for your response, my brother. Thank you for yours, the chopper. I appreciate you, friend. Gang, gang. Thank you for joining us, the greatest Mac. It's nice to see you again. This has all happened before because this universe is infinite. That's the trip, chopper. You see, and I believe that. I actually believe that. I genuinely believe that everything we're going through right now has happened an infinite amount of times exactly this way. Exactly this way. Because that's what infinity is. That's what infinity means. That's actually what infinity means. You know, when we can symbolize it. My entire, like, I want to build this entire thing, this feeling, melt more around that infinity, around the infinity that you are, that we are, we're experiencing right now. Be awe-inspired by that. And we symbolize it as a symbol, and we look at the symbol and we say, oh yes, infinity. But we cannot even, my joint almost got blown away by the wind. We cannot even begin to fathom. We can, technically, that's the thing. So we can begin to fathom infinity. And then as soon as we start to, we realize that we can't. Maybe that's the truth. There's things that allow us to experience more of these infinities. You know, having a child, getting into a beautiful, loving relationship, being in a beautiful loving friendship with someone, having a pet that you adore, being an artist, creating through whatever medium you choose to, you are actively experiencing more of infinity. You can do the same thing with meditation, with breath work, chanting, prayer, psychedelics, and we love it. Oh, we thrive on it. Give me some of that infinity, please. Please, I want some. Maybe you forget because then we can remember it. There we go, Ryan. Yeah, we had a whole stream. We had a whole stream asking that question as well. Do you forget to remember, or do you remember to forget? And the consensus, the feeling that came out of that stream is that we forget to remember. And I like that. It's giving me goosebumps. uh, you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. Mixed to death. And technically we don't need anything. And unfortunately, what we want isn't nothing. Right? That's the triple. Infinity. Going back and forth. Oh, Mick Jagger. If you can't be with the one you love the ones you're with. Absolutely. That's gorgeous. Thank you so much for saying that as well. When it rains. Song lyrics for the win. Let's go. Hey there, Scarmelia. How are you doing with the kalimba? 3 songs down, right? I've been practicing at the kalimba. You convinced me to get. It's been fun. I'm happy to hear that. You have 3 songs down, right? Also, Eval isn't 2 days away, so kind of nervous. Have you been enjoying the kalimba? And do you see yourself now using the kalimba when you're going to be off your feet a little bit, Scarmelia? Thank you for joining us. The Seeker, The Who. Is a track called The Seeker by The Who? Is it the lyrics you used? You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. Maybe that is. Hey, fuck man, trees for Grady, dude. How long has it been, dude? It's so nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Give you a big old hug. Thank you, man. How are you doing? How are you doing? How was your festive season? Hey, good evening, man. Chris. That's probably Chris Phoenix. I'm gonna call you Crisp. Oh. Thank you for joining us, dude. I'll just tell me if you don't want me to call you Crisp either. I'll be okay with just calling you the full thing. Thank you for joining us, dude. How are you doing, man? How's life been treating you? How was your festive season? How does the clouds look outside right now? I want to show you again. It's so gorgeous. It's blowing my mind. Oh. Let me get a little bit out here. Ooh. Let me get this side. Crowds. Let's get this all squared up. It's not perfectly squared up, but it's like I'm taking a moment to appreciate my dog's love of winter. She loves chasing tennis balls on the ice and snow. It is meditative to appreciate and live in that moment. Mm. Mm, 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 What color is your dog? When it rains, do tell, please. Follow, new follower here. Let's throw a little party for our friend Aramilov? Aram. Are you okay with being called Ama? Yes? No? Thank you for joining us. It's nice to have you here. Yeah, I see it happening. Been working on learning new songs. So, like, okay, this might be a little bit more bias, maybe some influence, Scarmelia. Like, okay. I want to say something before I try to influence. The fact that I suggested, encouraged, gave the energy for you to get the kalimba, and you went out and did that, and now somewhere in the world there is a human being making music, you know, hitting times, creating vibrational frequencies into this universe. Thank you, Scarmelia. Your energy, your love has been appreciated and experienced. Thank you so much. And then, second thing that I want to say is don't be too concerned with songs. You know, learn a few songs, get used to melodies and the way that things are placed and how they go together, and then stop learning new songs, and then just let yourself play. And you, that's my favorite personal way of playing the kalimba, because it feels like you're experiencing what's going on inside of you in that moment in an instrumental form. Suggestion. How about that, Scarmelia? So big, big, big. I didn't realize that you were balling out. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about, Gob? Right now. Wait, actually, I accept. Yes, thank you, universe. This is Gob's reflection. I will be your mirror. Shining bright. Thank you for joining us, Gob. It's so nice to have you here. I want to learn the kalimba. It's on my list. Ama, 100%. 100% recommended. Yes, the lyrics I use by The Who, The Seeker, The Who. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you for sharing that with us. Genuinely. Passing by, wishing you all the best. Drive by loved. Thank you, Sensane. To you friends that don't know, Amma, if you don't know, Sensane is also a streamer. The beautiful smile. Wonderful skater. Reader of Dutch, even though he doesn't know Dutch. You know, aspiring life coach slash helper, if you will, of the world. Genuine, loving being. Amma works for me. I'm happy to hear that, friend. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the free reign. How are you? Like, I want to get to know you now, Amma. Like, I have so many questions. Do tell me something about yourself. I know that's such a question, bad one, if you will, but it's a good question in the context of what do you want to share? You know, instead of me prying, pulling something out that you might not want to share, you go like, I have all these cards. Some of these cards are pretty spicy. Maybe you shouldn't share them right away. So you share the nice ones first. And I welcome you too. Thank you, friend. It's actually 12 p.m. here and I can't sleep. I just saw you with your friends and followed you then. I have one of my friends close by. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Crispy. It's nice to have you here, dude. Giving you a little tease because I love you. I love you, Gob. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it so much. You know. I might write new songs soon. That would be fun. You don't even need to write anything, Scarmedia. You know, like if you feel you want to write something, there is going to be, and I don't discourage that, but you'll write something, write down the notes, write something, write down the notes, and then practice the notes. See how you feel about that. Where if you're just playing for the sake of making sound, you know, and kind of letting your experience guide you to which time has to be picked next, it can be very centering, I guess you can call it. Very consolidating of the nounness of this reality. And I believe that's one of the best things about playing an instrument is just becoming present, you know, becoming extremely focused with where you are right now. I need to show you the claws again. It keeps getting better. Maybe I'm just tripping myself out, but it's so beautiful that I have to share it with you, friends. Like they're so street. I wish I could, yeah, just take one of those little there, suck it up. Probably be like multiple hundreds of liters of water. Or let's not think about that. Me just straight up drowning myself. Whimsical, pull some water out of the air, straight up drowns. It would be the coolest way to go though. How did he die? Um, Water magic. Okay. Yeah, he drowned himself with it. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Oh goodness. I'm sorry, friends. It's the first time I'm smoking bud in a bit, and it definitely is making me a little bit goofy. Let's call it. Uh, I like the process of writing music. There we go, Scarmelia. Then that's all you. That's what you have to do. Them crispy cloud boys. Crispy cloudy boys. I can't. The crispy cloudy boys. Absolutely, dude. They're so beautiful. You don't get to see them a lot. Maybe that's why I'm fascinated. You know, like we have this consolidated idea of what a cloud is. Oh, cloud. You're right. And then you see something like that, and I'm like, technically, still clouds, and yet not even remotely close to that image that we think of. Okay, I'm turning myself around. I meant I saw your last stream with your two friends, and I followed you on Reddit. My phrasing here was a bit creepy. Crispy. I'm not creeped out very easily, fortunately, friend. Like I tend to be pretty accepting of anything, dude. Thank you though. Thank you for sharing. You know, for like making it known. Those two friends was Christian and Adrian, and the name I've been called my entire life is Estian. So we were the three Ians. It was fun. Me and Christian have been friends for about 3 years now. 3 years? 3.5 years now. And I basically met Adrian through his friend as well. And I remember so thoroughly how as soon as I met these friends, I knew for the first time in my life that I've met people that I can actually be myself with. And it changed me. It genuinely changed me. It transformed my entire life. Just having someone that is going to listen to you, is willing to have a conversation with you that might be difficult, might be sensitive, might be inappropriate. And I encourage you, friend, to be that friend to someone else as well. You have been, and I know you have been, but I would encourage it even more. Listen to people, look at people, make them feel seen. It's the most powerful thing we can give one another. It really is what it's about. It's why we're here. It's why we're here. Nothing else is going to be as valuable as that. I'm crying because I have this friend, I can hear his voice. He's talking to my dad right now. And me and him have been staying together in this apartment for 24, 25, no, not even 24, 25, 55 days. 55 days. And it was amazing. It was again that having someone to talk to, remembering, you know, how important that is to me again. And now I have to leave. I have to leave. It's okay. It's a loss. But it's not a loss. I'm not losing anything. An experience, a time, energy is transitioning. But I'm not losing anything. Having someone who will hold space for you is a magical experience in and of itself. We hold space in this place every single day. Today is day 360 of holding space every single day. And it's been a process. It's been intense at points. It's intense right now. But it's beautiful. And I appreciate you sharing it with me as well, for holding space with me. Well, we're your family here, man. I know that, Christy, and I appreciate that. That's why I love you so much. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. We're holding space for one another. It's not. We can't expect ourselves to be able to hold space in a physical space for each other all the time. I wish we could. but I know it's not possible right now. Like I'm talking about different dimensions, but let's not go into that. It's not possible for us to always be there for each other, but it is possible for us to show up consecutively, consistently in a space like this, and that's why I did it. That's why we're doing it. I'm tripping out, yo. we're coming up on a year of doing this. It's like you friends have done that for me as well. That's what I'm saying. The opening up, the listening to one another, the being able to share. I appreciate you so much. I can't even. I'm so emotional right now. I'm sorry, I'm losing it. Oh, goodness. I don't know if this is a good idea, but the intention was seeking the truth. And I feel the truth can sometimes be devastating. Beautiful. Devastating. Seeking truth, friends. Defining that love is true. In our interactions, in our actions, in our interpretations, our expectations. Love is true. You're a spectacular human, Maldivor. Thank you, God. That would make me cry more. Cry more. Yes! I'm so happy that I got to burn myself with the cry more disc before anybody else ever got to, because I hope someone burns me with it someday. We haven't cried on stream in a long time. Thank you. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you for the heartwarming. I feel lonely and desperate. For a long time, I felt worthless, but I have come to understand that I do have worth. But I feel like I need someone that shows kindness to me. I haven't found a person like that though. GFE. So, I might be fresh out of kindness. But I can give you some love. GFE, I love you, dude. I don't know how to be kind to you, other than how we are kind to one another constantly. Know that you are worthy of being kind towards. Know that it's not impossible. Know that it's not a way. You got this, dude. Don't be sorry. I'm grateful to share the emotion. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you so much. Oh, I almost said sorry again. I'm not sorry about it. Fucking hell, I'm not sorry. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm abundant. I'm giving. I'm loving. I'm accepting. I'm compassionate. I'm fascinated by the clouds. I'm sorry, friends. Do tell me, like, fucking hell, stop with the clouds. We've seen clouds before. No, I cannot. I'm sorry. Look at those crispy boys. So crispy. Man, the intricacies between those swirls. You can see the turbulence. And it's gorgeous. Yo. Thank you, universe. Thank universe. Thank universe. Thank universe. Oh, okay, wait. Alexis live. Alex is live YouTube. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Alex. How are you doing, dude? How are you doing? Amma says it's not possible for us to always show up for each other. I needed that reminder today. One of my dearest friends has felt distant lately, and I am grieving that strange feeling. I've been grieving the same thing, Amma. I've experienced the same with a friend of mine as well. But I know that he's not lost either. In the same way that your friend is not lost, they're still here with us. They might just be deep inside of themselves right now. You know, maybe that sounds a little bit contrived, but only if you want it to. You know what I'm saying. Be grateful for your emotions and never apologize for them. Carmelia, you are perfectly correct. Thank you for the energy. I appreciate it so much. Much love to all of you. I may not be able to hold a space for you in person. And although my heart is average in size, there's plenty of room for all of you. Ninja, that is gorgeous. You're holding space, dude. You're holding an infinite amount of space. All of us are. And we're in it together. Literally. Quite literally. You've been crying, yeah, Shell. I just had a big old cry. It's just, you know, life kind of was like, oh wait, oh, how about it? How about this information? What? You know, and usually this information comes to us, it's not rocket science. It's not necessarily an epiphany on the scale of Socrates or, you know, Marcus Aurelius. But it's the significance that we apply onto those things. It's the amount of emotion that we're willing to invest into believing in something that creates all of the spectrum. I see a face in the clouds. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not looking for faces. Suddenly, it's just so many faces. You're too high, man. No, don't tell me I'm too high, Crispy. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean, Crispy. I'm not that high, bro. I'm actually pretty calm. I'm living my liveness. You want me to be calm, oh? You want me to be super mellow? You want me to not raise my voice? Be one tone? I can do that. I don't know if you can hear me while I'm doing that. But that's not enjoyable, oh. Nobody likes that. So I'm not gonna do it. You're too high, man. Don't cry. Kidding. You wanted to lighten up the mood. It's amazing that we're conversing here thousands of miles away from different countries. Crispy, the only way for us to have been able to do this, you know, thousands of years, literally 20 years ago, it was still that way. Me and you would have to travel thousands of miles, spend thousands of dollars, invest hundreds of hours potentially into getting into the same space and having this conversation, sharing these feelings, experiencing in this way. And yet here we are, transcending space and time, actively transcending space and time. Rest in peace, Desmond Tutu, indeed. Desmond Tutu has officially passed away. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I'm grateful for the life that he lived, as I am for all. What did I miss my sister called? Oh, nothing when it rains. Completely sober thoughts. And no outbursts of emotion. No. Maybe some clouds, I can promise. But yeah, there was a crying call. I had a cry so big last night. My shirt was wet. God. Thank you for being willing to share that with me, friend. Would you be willing to share what you cried about? If you're not willing, know that I appreciate you. Know that I'm here for you. Know that I love you, brother babe. I'm so sorry to hear that, Gar. I hope it was a healing and that you gained new insights. I hope so as well, genuinely. If you want a reason to laugh at my expense a little, I never really like to laugh at people's expense, because Carmelia, but I'll try to, since you want me to. Yeah, I need to prepare myself to be funny though. If you want a reason to be at my expense, Beanie woke up at 5:30 this morning and colored all over herself in blue Sharpie. Had to use hand sanitizer to wipe it all out. She's still a little blue. I'm blue, Diamond. Stop, stop. Hey, hello from New Orleans. Hello to you. Yeah, you now have a little Smurf, an actual Smurf in your house. I'm just imagining my kid. Like, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So the reason I'm imagining, like, usually the imagination was absolute shock and horror, when I think about it. And now, thinking about your kid, it's kind of whimsical and cute. Okay, so bear with me. My dad had this colleague who had these two little boys that had something wrong with them. They both had a tendency to be a little bit manic, and when they got together, because they're brothers, they like hype each other up to be even more manic. So he leaves them alone at I'm like imagining this. He leaves them alone at the garage. He goes for a nap. He shows back up to see his children covered in enamel paint. The car is covered with handprints of enamel paint. The walls is covered in enamel paint, like brick walls, covered in like stripes of enamel paint. They got inside of the car, and there's enamel paint on the handle of the car. They listened to music and pressed buttons on the control interfaces. And seeing these photos, seeing what they looked like, they had to have their head shaved, just to get the paint out of their hair. And they still had like splotches of white on them, even at school. That was the initial reaction I had to kids getting themselves dirty and into stuff. And now the blue Sharpie is like the most mild version of the previous story, and it inspires me to think of it a little bit better, at least, Carmelia. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with me. You now have a... Hello from New Orleans. Thank you for joining us, Libros. Again, it's so nice to have you here. Eye makeup remover works for Sharpie. The more you know. I don't know what's in eye makeup remover. I guess it can't be that toxic or pungent, potent, otherwise it'd be a little bit damaging or scarring. Sunscreen also removes Sharpie, especially on walls. The more we know. Who would have knew that we would have gained from the stream? We would have learned something. All of my worst broken hearts have stopped on the 24th of December and the 25th of December. All of my worst broken hearts have happened. Like losing a relationship, losing a family member, losing an animal. What exactly was the context of the broken heart? If you'd be willing to share, Shell. If you'd be willing to share. Like no pressure though, if you don't want to. We don't have eye makeup remover, but hand sanitizer works just fine. Hello from Houston neighbor. Woohoo! We can't complain about the bugs and the banana weather. Bananas weather hasn't been bad. Libros hasn't been bad. Heck yeah. Lots of people in warm places, and here I am outside in minus 15 Celsius. What is worth when it rains? You just made me a little bit warm, thinking about what you said yesterday. No. I think 3 days ago, about us bringing warmth to you as well in the cold. Minus 15. Are you outside right now? Like because you want to be? I'm sorry. Like, or are you like just because like you're walking somewhere, you have to go somewhere? You can stay inside, or at least have your dress properly when it rains. I'm a smidge confused about what's going on. I'm confused all the time, Liv Ross. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not really confused all the time, but life is confusing, dude. I'm trying. If anything, I'm actively trying, bro. That's what's going on. I'm trying. Please, oh, please. Please have mercy. Never again, lol. I lived in cold, and it's not for me. Are you American, by the way? No, I'm South African. I can't seem to discern your accent. South African. Afrikaans, sorry. I brought eindelijk Afrikaans. Gasp! The paint, yeah, girl. It's the Imagineering, girl. I like your username for what it's worth, and thank you for joining us. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. It's so bad. Sounds potential. potential Finnish/Germanic, South African. Thank you for joining us and for telling us, Scene. It's nice to have you here, friend. How have you been? How's the festive season been? When I was 8, and my friends did paint the neighbor's entire front porch avocado green exterior paint. Trouble. And well deserved. Why, kids? Oh goodness, I think that, if anything, I'm taking away from that experience is hide the paint. Or at least give them an environment in which they can channel that chaos. Like, you want to get absolutely dirty? I'll put down a bunch of paper on the ground, and then I'll give you access to a bunch of contained and controlled volumes of paint of different colors. And then you get to lose your mind. You absolutely, go bonkers. How about that? I can do that. Let him lose his shit. Hang those paintings up. Show him that his chaos can be appreciated. But make sure he doesn't have access to the chaos. At least while he's young, or while she's young. Please contain the chaos. Sweet, way fucking off. Yeah, just a little bit though, just a wee bit. Like being rejected by my husband's family and not being welcomed at Christmas. Thank you so much for sharing that, Shell. Okay, so I have a bunch of questions. I want to ask, is your husband on your side of that? And then the second thing is not being welcomed at Christmas. I feel like your husband went to Christmas without you. Is that what happened? So we're on the same page? Please, Shell, please tell me so I can know if I should get angry or not. I'm already angry. Semi-tropical, so it's cold one day with the same humidity, and it's hot again, and you made the bad choice of wearing a sweater. I mean, you can take your sweater off, right? I guess it's uncomfortable to carry it around the whole day, but it works. I just came in. I was outside with Sven and Nine most of the time. Thank you for being here with us again. It's nice to have you when it rains, always. I'm guessing Sven of 9 is the pupper dogger. He likes the snow or likes the cold. I feel like, I'm sorry, like thinking about stuff. I'm thinking about this little puppy we have, Eva. I'm looking thoroughly forward to, seeing her again. She's this gorgeous little soul, but she's hairless, completely butt naked, hairless dog. And then there's dogs, that can just like venture into -15 weather when it drops like below 20 degrees Celsius. Eva wants to be under a blanket. I freaking love. I love like just tucking her in like a little burrito. Like she'll get on the couch, and then I'll see her not covered by a blanket, and then I'll walk up to her and like, "Sukime conversi," which basically translates to, "You want your blanket?" And then she like, she starts moving like that. I'm like, yeah, you want your blanket? And then I tuck her in, and I give her some head scratches. And then I feel good. Something in my brain is like, yeah, good. Hello, my friend Goo, Professor Goo. Thank you for joining us, brother babe. It's so nice to have you here. How are you doing? Yes, I'm that hardened. It's literally feels like nothing now. Shell, tell me more. I need to know more. Like, if you're willing to share more. Thank you for sharing as much as you have as well. I'm here with you. Like, the reason I want to know more is because I care, friend. I love you so much. You have nothing to apologize for. Break that habit of sorry. Yeah. I should. You're right. Thank you for letting me know that as well. Instead of saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," and saying sorry. Say thank you. And it's a switch. And when we make that switch, we can make that switch. It's because Canada loves him too. So he has double reason to keep. Exactly. I wanna get myself right there into Canada. Canada, please take me. Please, Canada. I mean, it's gonna be cold. I'm gonna have to get Eva a big old jacket. I really like the image that I have of Eva with a jacket on because, like, my mind likes to over dramatize. So I'm just imagining this jacket that's like literally this thick around her, and her head is like just peeking out of this thing, and she's like stumpy walking in it. Like, yeah. You're gonna stay warm, Eva. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, Libras. It's nice to have you here, friend. Thank you for the power, Goo. I'm receiving it, dude. Stop sending. Oh, I'm losing it a little bit. I'm melting here. It will make mittens for next time melt more to keep my fingers warm and typos reduced. No, it's completely okay. When it rains, maybe the typos, is a little bit of an obstacle course for me to fall over. Sometimes I stumble and do a little bit of a move, so thank you. Amma says, limit access to toxic chaos. I like that. That sounds like a slogan. Limit access to toxic chaos. Feels like it needs to be the slogan of a riot. What are we rioting against? Toxic chaos. What is that? Sorry. This houndstooth and flower scarf is blowing my mind. I'm a houndstooth? Hound? What? I love the. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you. The 7. I understand. I'm sorry when it rains. Like I feel like you're hoying from one side of the infinity, and then I'm like, I see what, and then it's kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. Thank you. 7, of course. That's how I interact. That's how I react to being offered a soft, fluffy blanket as well. Exactly, Alva. It's the only appropriate reaction. You're like, yeah, what? I'm cold that you're gonna give me a blanket, tuck me in like a little burrito. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm so down. So it's gonna be not so fun telling Serena's dad she got into a Sharpie. He's known for overreacting. First question. And I don't know, like, that's an inappropriate question to ask, but first question is, do you need to tell him? Second question is, if you don't tell him, he's gonna find out anyway, right? Third question, do you need to respond to him overreacting? Especially if it's gonna be online. You can just not read his messages. Okay, message, like, share. I don't know anything. That's just how I feel about that. I don't care. I don't care about your overreacting. It's Sharpie. She's a little blue for now. It's fine. Just relax. It's fine. Knowing where to put your energy is empowering, not trying to overstep. But I also hope your husband is still supportive in other areas of your life. I genuinely hope so. Like if the things I want to say, Shell, is a little bit yikes, yo. But I feel honesty is what we value here. If your husband doesn't value you enough or loves you enough, to not stand for something like abuse or discrimination from his actual family, then he's not. In my opinion of it, he's like saying like, yeah, this thing's happening, but they're still my family, so I'm gonna still accept them for this thing that they're doing. And you're his wife, like you've made this commitment to one another to live the rest of your lives together. Shell, I'm sorry if I'm overstepping or talking past what I know. I love you and I want you to know that you deserve genuine love. Merry Christmas to you, Silver. Thank you for joining us, friend. How was your festive season? How was your Christmas? Nice. So, Charlize Theron's famous there. She's known, I guess. I guess you can understand a bit of French. No. I was like thinking about a French word to say. But no, very, very much no French, dude. Unfortunately, it would be cool though. I can speak Afrikaans and English, basically. I'm good. Being well treated here in Lagos. Very kind people here in Nigeria. Great to see your face and energy. I love you, brother. Enjoy your day. Enjoy yours, Goo. Thank you for sharing some space with us. OP looks like a Hollywood star. Why are you not in a movie yet? Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful, friend. I appreciate you so much for saying that. Hopefully one day, I would love to act. I think I would be probably cast in similar roles. Maybe I would be casted as a character, as myself. But I feel like that's a weird thing to say. I don't know if I'd be able to play a serious character, for instance. Maybe I could. But I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe I need to practice. No, I can't. You see, I like literally tried for like a split second to be serious, and I was like, no, cannot. 7 of 9. Star Trek reference to the Borg. Ooh, okay. I didn't know that actually. That's trippy. He looks like the Lizard King. I like that. Thank you, friend. If you're the Lizard King, does it come with benefits? The King of Lizards. I'm just imagining, and it may be a little bit of a yikes, but this throne of lizards. And you sit on the lizards, and they run underneath you, and you move with the lizards. It would be very intimidating showing up anywhere, you know. First lizards, then you, lots of lizards, like a bunch, more than is acceptable. Lizards that cover the ground, and the ground changes color. I'm sorry, sorry for going so deep into. No, sorry. Thank you for enjoying that imagination with me. I'm gonna freaking unlearn. I'm gonna unlearn right now. Instead of saying sorry, say thank you, dude. Trying to put it to a place in my brain where it's gonna stick. Thank you. Everyone imagines family a certain way, and I no longer imagine. I just want my hubs and my son. There we go. I'm happy to hear that, show. If that's the way it is, then that's the way it should be. By the looks, he would be a successful musician. I don't know what that is, Shilber, but thank you so much for saying that, friend. You know, maybe if I eventually move to America, I could pursue something like that. It's a little bit difficult here in South Africa, unfortunately. We don't have that many opportunities. Yes, deathbed. And your consciousness is going to continue indefinitely. That's what I believe. I don't know if it's advice, I don't know if it's true, but that's what I believe. I love it. I love you, friend. Thank you, Professor Goo, for joining us. You've identified the hardest thing we deal with, and I'm very glad to have people to talk about this huge thing I hid from the world. Shell, thank you. Genuinely, it means the world. My friends, my phone is on 1%, so if I drop suddenly, it's because of that. Wife of a Life, thank you for the wholesome hammer. I appreciate you so much. Tactful chemist, it's been forever, Trevor. I got here a bit later, anticipated. Is so dimmed. Melt shows up a bunch of Komodo dragons. I'm out. Melt shows up with a bunch of geckos. I'm in. It's definitely the geckos one. You know, soft lizards. No spiky, naily lizards. Pretoria? Yeah, in fact, Pretoria. You have much in common. Right now, Pretoria, you have much in common. She also cares deeply and quickly, but it also opens up what terrifies and confuses her. When it rains, I feel that's just what we all deal with constantly, right? We're never escaping of that. Thank you for being interviewed with me. Great advice. Apparently true. Professor Goo, you're not allowed to die, dude. Not allowed to die, huh? Think about that, Professor Goo. You're not allowed to die. I'm still just here listening. Thank you, Sir Amelia, for still being here. You're not allowed to die, friend. You know, and you can think of it from the perspective of don't commit suicide, live this life as much as you can. But you can very much think of it from the perspective of you cannot die. The you that you are, the you that we all are, cannot die. And you are that forever. Ceaselessly, right now, actively creating more of that. I appreciate you for it. Much death is not dangerous. Well, dying is peaceful. Just depends on the cause. Dying is peaceful, very much so, but people think of death as this finality. Oh, as I say the word finality, the phone dies. I like that, and I feel that's what we're gonna end on. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for being here with us. See you again tomorrow, dude.